position on vouchers. I believe that parents should have a choice of where to send their children. It's a very controversial issue. That's why the question is asked. But I believe in freedom. I believe that parents should have the freedom in choosing where to send their children. And if they choose to take them to another school, private school, I think they have the right. I think this is America, and we have the freedom to choose where we take our children. It is our responsibility as board members to make our schools attractive enough and challenging enough for our students to make those parents and help those parents make the decision to keep them in the Simi Valley School District. But I think that parents should have the freedom to choose, along with their students, where they can attend school.
Okay, let me continue on down then, Mr. Smith.
Well, I can see why people wouldn't want a voucher system in place. If a voucher system is in place, we see students who are currently in the school system moving on to private institutions and private schooling, and when that happens, the money we receive from state and federal government is less because then we have less students in the school. But I can also see it from the other side of the issue where parents aren't happy with the school system. They don't feel it's safe enough. They don't feel their students are being educated enough, and they may want to have their students put in an institution where that isn't the case. So I think what we do need to do is something Mr. Cruz alluded to. Allow it. There's a reason the parents want to send their school somewhere else. And I think instead of exploiting the issue and running on the issue and saying this is a problem, elect me, I think we should actually put some thought into solving the problem, so maybe in 4 years this isn't an issue and parents won't want to send their children to either a private school or homeschool them because the schools will be safe enough and educational enough to make the kids want to stay there.
Thank you.
I don't think vouchers are a good idea. It's a very heated debate, but I come from let's fix the problem. If there's a problem, if your student feels that there's a problem with the school, with the teacher or something, we need to address that directly. Vouchers for private schools, private schools offer some great stuff, but that's starting to, starts to get really complicated with our budget. The vouchers, obviously, we couldn't be, putting checks to even cover the cost of private schools. So we need to focus on our schools, we need to focus on our teachers, focus on our students, and keep those students here and attack the problem and not just say, okay, you have a problem, just go to another school, go to a private school where it's better. Instead, we want to make sure there's no problems there, and we need to address each individual issue that these students have, parents have, to make sure that they stay in our schools. Thank you.
Mr. Cruz's support of vouchers is very troubling to me as a board member in a public school. 65% of Californians, last time we voted, rejected vouchers, and the simple reason is that sure, it helps upper income parents send their kids to a private school, but the money comes right out of our public schools, and it devastates our public schools. The foundation of our democracy and the future of this nation is our public schools. Then Mr. Cruz wants to run for a public school office when people behind the voucher system, if you read the fine print, would love to see our public schools destroyed. They love to privatize our schools. That's a very scary thing he's saying that he's supporting, and I do not support vouchers at all in any form or way. Thank you.
Thank you. I do not support vouchers in any way, shape, or form, and I will certainly say that past voucher initiatives that have come forward have been extremely flawed. For one, public school dollars should not go to private schools, especially when, as the voucher initiatives that we have seen before us in the past, have set up systems whereby voucher schools or voucher redeeming schools are not held to the same standards, levels of accountability, whether it has to do with discrimination, safety of schools, teaching of religion in schools, or any other areas to which public schools have to deal with mandates and ed codes. And it is an elitist system. Every student in the state of California can get a $6,000 voucher, and a private school can say it's going to cost $16,000 to go